it's the absolute foundation and fundamental aspect of their growth, their habits. How a child's habits develop their character. So what exactly do good character traits and habits look like, and why do they matter so much? Excellent character is being the very best version of yourself as a human being. Good habits and great character traits are invaluable, and so I'm going to dive into that today. Welcome back to another Warrior Academy podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most important things in the development of your child's character. That is their habits. For me, it's the absolute foundation and fundamental aspect of their growth. And so I'm going to dive into that today. As the description of this title says, show me your child's habits and I'll show you the development of their character. I'll show you what they'll look like when they're older as an adult. So let's get started. So let's look at how a child's habits develop their character. First of all, good habits and great character traits are invaluable. But what exactly do good character traits and habits look like, and why do they matter so much? Excellent character is being the very best version of yourself as a human being. Someone who's capable of empathy, kindness, gratitude, as well as prioritizing respect, integrity, and honesty. Good habits are all about making good decisions. So it's often down to the choices that you make in every single aspect of your life. And really, your character is what guides you along as you grow. And it ensures that you live a successful and happy life as an adult. So every single parent I know within the Warrior Academy wants their children to develop good habits and develop a good character. And that's often the main reason people come to us. As the Warrior Academy is a character development organization, parents come to us to develop their character, and we have incredible results with that. And so developing your child's character possesses them the skills they need for a successful future. So it's important for our kids to reach their full potential so they can actually enjoy life. If they don't reach their full potential, they may go down the rabbit hole of negative experiences and experience things like, bad relationships, chronic bullying, even an unhealthy life, which then causes them physical pain. Healthy habits are actually essential to living that healthy and happy life. And quality character enables people to put themselves in the best position to be successful and thrive. I often say that character development is a mixture of two things. It's big one-off events that transform our lives and shape our character, and it's the small things we do every single day, i.e. our habits. So how does a child develop beneficial habits and an outstanding character? Well, first of all, let's look at habits, right? Children are very, very impressionable. The younger they are, the more impressionable they are. And so good habits are more likely to develop if encouraged from a very, very young age. And that's something I realized when I started the Warrior Academy. I wanted to work with young people because I wanted to plant the seeds of, the black belt character traits, because they were very impressionable at a young age. 4 to 8 years old is where we start working with most young people. And it has a massive compounding effect. A nurturing, supportive environment with secure boundaries provides a safe space for children to learn. And, it's all about learning rewarding habits. So good habits basically concern choices around food, sleep, exercise, and even how their time is spent. And these decisions around the habits affect their mental and physical health. And therefore, I feel that it's vital that children develop these beneficial habits that will actually serve them throughout their life. So first of all, I'd like to just go through a few of those vital habits. The first one is to lead by example. The majority of habits developed by children are actually learned from you, their primary carers. So if you're a parent listening to this, whatever habits you have, your child is likely going to mirror. Children imitate, and they develop habits that are learned from those closest to them. So it's vital that we actually lead by example. If you want your children to develop good habits, you yourself must have good habits. You need to make good choices about food. You need to take the time to rest. You need to take the time or spend your time wisely, invest your time in things that you want your children to invest their time in. You know, when your children see you enjoying nutritious, healthy food, resting when you're tired, being purposeful with your time, guess what? They're likely to copy that, right? So it's no good having a really unhealthy diet and then trying to encourage your child to have a really healthy diet. It doesn't work. They look at you and they'll copy that. So we've got to make sure we're congruent with what we're asking our kids to do, with what we're actually doing ourselves. When you choose to spend time, you choose to spend your time doing activities that support you and the people around you, your children quickly learn how to spend their time wisely as well. And they start to develop helpful habits. So that's the first thing I would say. Routines and boundaries are very, very important. Routines help to establish natural boundaries and habits. And when you provide an environment in which children actually learn to wake, to eat, to play, and rest throughout the day, it not only provides a sense of security around what to expect, but it also builds an understanding about how to help themselves feel healthy and happy. And likewise, when you secure these boundaries, we actually teach children where the safe limits are for themselves and for others. And that's a really crucial aspect here. Even from a very young age, for caregivers to provide an explanation for any boundary is really important. And I feel like this helps you as the guardian to assess your reason behind the boundary and ensure it's valuable. It also means that children are more likely to stick to them if they felt a part of the process. They've had a chance to give a counter argument to your boundary. You can then explain with logic, so they're more likely to stick to it. That conversation around the boundary gives children with this understanding and appreciation for the boundary, rather than simply following the rules in a very autocratic way, which often as children grow up, become teenagers, they reject. Make them a part of that decision. Make them a part of developing the boundaries which keep them safe. We don't want them to have these boundaries which then lead them to resent you or to give you a sense of resistance. We want the opposite of that. So it's important you involve them with that. The next thing is positive perspective. So always remain positive in your thoughts and your words, your actions. I feel like when we keep a positive perspective as a parent, even when we're facing challenges, you essentially show your ever-watching child how best to handle life's ups and downs. We know that life is going to throw so many challenges at our children. And so what's really important is that we teach children how a healthy, positive adult approaches that. And that's often with this positive perspective. Even if you're going through something really difficult, try and always remain positive, or at least process it in a positive way, so your child who's watching and learning can do the same thing. A positive outlook is often the best approach in any case for any setback that we're facing personally. And so I think having that emotional regulation ourselves is really important when our children start mirroring what we're doing. It teaches them to have the right attitude, or that having the right attitude can actually help them manage even the most difficult circumstances. And that's resilience ultimately. So similarly to that, be careful with how you talk about others. Your young people, the young people around us are always listening and will actually adopt our manner of talking. And this is something that often parents don't realize. The little subtle conversations they have with each other, their children are listening. Make sure your speech is considerate, uplifting towards and about others as much as possible. It's very easy to relax at the end of the day and to speak negatively about the things you've gone through or the people you've met, but your children are listening. It's the same when you're talking about your partner or to each other or about yourself. Remove negative self-talk, because if you're doing it, your children will do it. And they're far less likely to be crucial or critical of themselves if they don't hear you doing that about yourself. And so negative self-talk is something we want to eliminate when we're developing those good habits. So by doing all these things, you'll find that, when you're more confident, your child will have a more positive mindset and approach to life, and therefore become more confident as well. Just a quick shout out to the guys at Shield who manage this podcast, come up with the strategy behind the podcast, help me schedule interviews, as well as do all of the editing and the producing of the podcast. Without them, we wouldn't be able to produce this podcast. If you would like to create your own podcast, I can't recommend the Shield team enough. They have done well over 100 episodes for me over the last few years, and I've been so pleased with the results. So have a look in the description of this video or the podcast episode, and you'll see how to get in touch with them yourself. The next thing to consider is effective communication. So similarly, let your communication with your children be clear and supportive. Teach them good habits around communication by initiating conversations with them as often as you can. Make time to connect by asking them questions about their day and their interests and what they're actually struggling with. And try to limit distractions while you're doing it so that you can actually properly listen to one another. Rather than the typical child coming home from school and the mum or dad saying, "What did you learn today?" Try and ask them something that you actually know they care about, right? If they love football, talk about that. If they love their video game, talk about that. Engage them on a topic after school on something they care deeply about, which you know motivates them. And by taking time each day to do that and to chat with your young people, you let them know that they're important, and you let them know that what they say matters. But you also show them how to ask questions and listen, how to have a conversation. And so they start to develop good habits around communication. They become good conversationalists, which then goes to serve them in life massively. And I think that's a really healthy skill for healthy relationships, right? It's something that will go on to serve them for their life. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about developing character. And I mentioned before that great character is about the type of person you are. It's rather than the choices you make, although they're kind of intertwined, character is something that really starts to show through when we go through something difficult. And outstanding character sets you apart with values such as integrity, respect, responsibility, honesty, and care. And these character traits develop through a number of influences in a child's life. And it's absolutely incredible the impact that when you develop these traits has long-term on a child's life. They're very compounding. And, the experience a child has in their school and their communities and their personal life has a huge impact on their character long-term. And so there are a number of ways as an adult, or as an influential adult in a child's life, that you can actually guide and influence brilliant character and shape that. And I'd like to go through a few of those now. So the first thing is to model excellence. Be the type of person you would like your children to be. Earlier in this, when I talked about habits, I talked about modeling behavior, and this is very similar. Model excellence. Be inspirational, be exceptional. Be that inspirational role model to your child. Your behavior will be an example to the young people in your life. And this is something I say all the time to our martial arts instructors at the Warrior Academy. Inspiration starts with language, but it continues by what we do. Living true to our values is what our young people will copy. So be the person, the type of person you want your child to become. It's as simple as that. If you're looking for a hack on how to raise a child with excellent character, it's to have excellent character yourself. And that's kind of relieving, really, to understand that just by doing the work on yourself, you become a better parent. It's as simple as that in most cases. So demonstrate honesty, demonstrate reliability, demonstrate integrity, demonstrate kindness, and demonstrate empathy. And your children will experience firsthand the benefits and the influence of good character. They'll witness the positive impact that good character has on others, and how great character can actually help build and support people and the community around them. And they'll want to mirror that themselves. They'll understand that is the way to live a positive, healthy, happy life. And when children see from a young age the personal happiness and the wider benefits of good character, they'll naturally imitate it. They'll desire it for themselves. The next thing I want to talk about is using setbacks to guide. Mistakes are made. That's part of life. That's normal. Difficulties arise. That happens. Challenges appear. When they do, when these things happen, take the opportunity to guide and teach your child. Don't hide the challenges, the upsets, the difficulties. Bring them to the forefront, but show your child how you approach those in a positive way. As I mentioned before, with a positive perspective, use that trait in how you approach challenges and show that to your child. Guide them what to do when mistakes happen, how to process and deal with failure. Help them discover what exactly went wrong and why it went wrong, and discuss what they or others could have done differently and what a better choice might have looked like. If you make a mistake, explain the mistake, go through that with them, and then show them what you should have done and that you actually process that and how, next time you're going to do things differently. I feel like setbacks of any kind don't necessarily have to drag us down. Instead, they can actually influence character growth in yourself and therefore your child who's always watching. The next thing is to share stories. Storytelling is one of the most profound and powerful ways to educate a young person or educate another human being. We've got this ability to really latch onto stories and to really seek meaning in them. And so we use them throughout the Warrior Academy. They're a very friendly way to share ideas around morals and values without things seeming kind of dry for children, especially. And they enjoy story. They enjoy, they can enjoy listening to stories, and they can practice empathy with the characters, and they can understand and personify those characters. They can chat about the choices and experiences contained within the story. And I often find it's a wonderful starting place for discussions about bigger ideas, and they're hugely valuable in guiding children around tricky topics. So stories are just a really brilliant parent hack, if you like. They're engaging and they're accessible, and they're a great option for introducing concepts that otherwise might not have come up in everyday chats. You don't have to be so direct by talking about your child going through something. You can talk about the character going through it and what the character had to do, and that makes it so much easier and more accessible for your child to understand. So whether it's passed down stories from one of your own, or a close family experience, or written stories, or made up stories, your children gain a lot from a simple tale of a great character going through something difficult. And that's why within the Warrior Academy, we do mat chats through storytelling for the last 5 to 10 minutes on a character trait every single class. It's massively empowering for young people, and they really engage on it. The next thing is to act on it. So don't just do the talking, act on what you say. Actions speak far louder than words. Show what a good character looks like, volunteer in your community, get involved with local charities, help out at a nearby event, lead the way by doing things that serve others around you. And that's such a fantastic character trait. It could be as simple as just having a cup of tea with a lonely neighbor and your child seeing that. Cooking a meal for the family with a newborn, or litter picking up rubbish around your home. All these small acts of generosity and service to other people go an awful long way in developing your child's character. And ultimately, you'll reap the rewards in your own life. But you'll also embolden your child to act with the same humble heart and great character that you've developed. Ultimately, if you want to teach your child to have a great character, if you want to give your child a solid character and have solid habits, it all starts with you as a parent. Your child will mirror what you're doing. And I find that, as I said earlier, it's kind of a relief to know that in this big, complex world of parenting, all you really need to do to be a good parent is to work on yourself. If you become a good person with a great character, you develop your own character, your children will copy it. So I hope you have enjoyed today's episode about habits and how, developing habits influence your child's character. It's such a big subject and one of the most fundamental aspects of the Warrior Method. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have, click subscribe. Make sure you share this video with other parents who might benefit from what we do at the Warrior Academy. And leave some feedback, leave some comments on this. If you agree with what I've said or disagree, I'd love to hear. I'd love to have conversations in these comments so I can learn more about what you're going through and see how we can support you. Other than that, I will see you all in the next episode. Take care. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it, and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the breakthrough area assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the breakthrough area assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.